The house that Trump built is now on fire, and one of his biggest supporters is holding the match. Now, on Friday, of course, Trump unendorsed Marjorie Taylor Greene, kicking off a MAGA civil war over the Epstein files. That's right, they're back after the government shutdown. They have returned. Now, on Saturday morning, of course, he called her a traitor, saying Marjorie Traitor Greene is a disgrace to our great Republican Party. Oops. This, of course, is going to cause some big problems among the MAGA base. Now, remember, of course, Steve Bannon, Donald Trump's guy, he warned that Trump could lose about 10% of the MAGA movement because of this self-inflicted wound that is the Epstein files mess. That is potentially 40 House seats that could be going down the drain. Oops. Now, Greene, by the way, didn't take this lying down. She went to X and warned that the base will turn on Trump if he doesn't follow through on his campaign promise to release the Epstein files. Trump's response, of course, is indignation, right? He called his own supporters weaklings who are too hung up on the Epstein files and are just helping the Democrats because they're big Democrat hoax, right? Basically telling his base to shut up and fall in line. Here's where it gets beautiful. Okay, so some people on far-right online communities, Trump's most devoted followers, people on Truth Social, are now calling him out of touch. Okay? You're losing me here. This, to me, is the last thing we need. We're already freaking divided over Israel, AIPAC, Jared Kushner, Bibi Netanyahu. The list is getting long. With all due respect, Mr. President, you really need to grow up. Attacking Republicans that don't agree with you is not helping the party or the country. You're the one that backtracked on America first. You flipped on the Epstein files because you're protecting your rich donor friends. And you're bringing in H-1B foreigners in place of Americans. And you have the audacity to say Americans aren't talented enough? Who is the rhino? Who is the globalist? Wow. These are the same people that defended everything Trump has done for years that are now saying that he has abandoned his own promises because, let's be honest, he did. He didn't actually care about draining the swamp. He didn't care about transparency. He didn't care about any of that. Now, obviously, social media is going absolutely nuclear because you have people on both sides that are fighting, okay? You got MAGA supporters on both sides, these influencers that are tearing each other apart. And in the middle, conservative influencers who spent years kissing Trump's ass, right? Some of them are outraged by his treatment of the files. Others are outraged that he challenged Donald Trump at all. And so, I mean, it is just an absolute civil war, okay? And it's funny because there is cognitive dissonance here, all right? And it's pretty strong. These people are the ones who spent years mocking the elite, the deep state, the political cover-ups, whatever. Now, they're watching their own leader engage in exactly the kind of thing that they criticized. And Trump's solution to it is to just call them weaklings and to tell them, just shut up, Democrat hoax. Like, this isn't just about Donald Trump versus Marjorie Taylor Greene anymore, which is something that I didn't expect to happen, right? And it is funny that she is the first one to expose the crack in the MAGA armor, which is now spreading, okay, faster than wildfire. Republican voters who trusted Donald Trump are now asking, hey, wait a minute, if he's not going to release the files, if he's hiding these files, then what else is he hiding? What else is he lying about? Now, the questions that they're asking about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein are the same ones that Trump's political opponents have been asking for years. It's a complete lie that the Democrats or any of Donald Trump's opponents weren't talking about the Epstein files. Oh, we were. Okay. Now, the questions, right, that they're asking are the very, very same ones. Okay. So MAGA and Trump's opponents are now kind of on the same side here. Okay. Again, the only difference is it's actually his base that are asking these questions now. You're seeing Republican voters fighting each other over whether Marjorie Taylor Greene is correct or wrong to demand the release of these files. And remember, these people promised, these people believed him when he promised to expose everything. Now he wants to bury it. I don't think that's making America great. That's going to make America suspicious. And it's what happens when you create a movement based on one person's personality, this is a cult of personality, rather than on principles, rather than on policies. You can only control the narrative until someone with enough followers decides to tell a different story. Marjorie Greene, let's remember that she didn't suddenly develop a conscience. No, she saw an opportunity to position herself as the real America First MAGA candidate, while Trump backs down in his promises. The base is paying attention. They're seeing what's going on. Steve Bannon, as I mentioned, he knows the math. A 10% loss could mean losing the House of Representatives, which means losing their power, which means more investigations, which means more control. Trump thought that he could stop this by calling out his own supporters as weaklings and that they would just roll over and accept it. Instead, they're actually calling him out for his hypocrisy. The beautiful irony, of course, is that Trump's base spent years saying things like, oh, if you've got nothing to hide, then you've got nothing to fear. Now they're applying that same logic to him. So now I want to ask you a question for those who've watched this video, right? Do you think that MAGA should trust Donald Trump or Marjorie Taylor Greene on the Epstein files? Who do you think is telling the truth, right? And has Trump's weaklings comment damaged his control over this movement? And what does this civil war tell us about the future of the Republican Party? Drop your comments below. If this video helped you cut through the BS and see what is really happening, then smash that like button. Every single like pushes back against the right-wing propaganda machine. I can't do this work without your support. So please check out my Patreon. Link is in the description of this video. For a few bucks a month, you can help keep this channel independent from corporate BS. So hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's keep fighting for democracy and against fascism together.